You feel invisible around everyone because you have spent years becoming easy to overlook. You soften your opinions. You wait for someone else to speak first. You laugh when something isn't funny, agree when you don't agree, and leave conversations wondering why nobody really saw you. But here's the truth. You are not invisible. You are over-adapted. You learned how to enter a room without taking up emotional space. You learned how to read everyone else's mood before checking your own. You learned that being agreeable was safer than being honest, and that needing less made you easier to keep around. That's not personality. That's programming. And the strangest part is that most people around you may not even realize you're disappearing because you have become extremely good at making your disappearance look like calmness, maturity, or kindness. By the end of this video, you'll understand why you feel unseen, how you participate in the pattern without meaning to, and the exact layers you need to work through if you want to feel present in your own life again. Not louder, not more impressive. More real. Here's the psychology behind it. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for social safety. It notices facial expressions, pauses, changes in tone, who seems irritated, who seems distant, who appears to have more status in the room. When you grow up in an environment where attention was unpredictable, criticism was common, or your feelings were treated like an inconvenience, you become skilled at monitoring everyone else. You don't enter a conversation asking, "What do I want to say?" You ask, "What will keep this interaction smooth?" That question can protect you for a while, but eventually, it becomes a way of living. You stop expressing. You start managing. Here's layer 1. Notice the performance. Imagine you're at a dinner with coworkers. Someone asks where you want to eat. You say, "Anywhere is fine." Someone chooses a place you dislike. You say, "That's perfect." Then the conversation moves on, and you feel strangely disconnected from your own evening. Nothing dramatic happened. Nobody attacked you, but you made yourself absent. In a series of tiny decisions. That is how invisibility usually works. Not through one huge rejection, through hundreds of small self-erasing moments. So here's your first move. For one day, stop saying "I don't mind," unless you genuinely don't mind. Replace it with one honest preference. "I'd rather go somewhere quieter. I don't enjoy that kind of movie. I need a little more time." Small statements. Real information. You may feel selfish at first. You're not being selfish. You're becoming detectable. Now for layer 2. Identify the rule underneath the silence. Every repeated behavior usually has a hidden rule attached to it. Maybe your rule is, "If I disagree, people will leave." Maybe it's, "If I ask for attention, I'm being needy." Maybe it's, "If I show too much enthusiasm, people will judge me." Maybe it's, "I only deserve space when I have something useful to contribute." These rules were not created by your adult mind sitting calmly at a desk. They were formed through repetition. A child notices what gets rewarded, what gets punished, and what gets ignored. If being emotional caused conflict, you learned to become neutral. If your achievements received attention but your inner world did not, you learned to perform competence. If other people's needs always came first, you learned that your needs were negotiable. You didn't choose these rules. They were installed. Here's the trap. Because the rules feel familiar, they also feel true. Familiarity is persuasive. The brain often mistakes what it has practiced for what is safe, and what is safe for what is right. Write down the sentence you complete most often. "If I really show people who I am, then don't make it sound intelligent. Let it be embarrassing. Let it be simple. They'll think I'm too much. They'll realize I have nothing to offer. They'll stop needing me." That sentence is not your identity. It's the contract your fear wrote. Now layer 3. Stop confusing being liked with being known. You can be liked for being convenient. You can be appreciated for being reliable. You can be wanted because you listen well, solve problems, stay calm, and ask for almost nothing. But being useful is not the same as being seen. If people only know the version of you that helps, agrees, and accommodates, then they may genuinely care about you while still not knowing you. That gap hurts. You sit in a group where everyone is laughing and nobody has done anything wrong. Still, you feel lonely. You hear yourself participating, but you don't feel present in the interaction. Here's why. Connection requires information, not your resume, not your role, not the polished version of your personality, your reactions, your preferences, your uncertainty, your actual point of view. You don't need to reveal your deepest trauma to become visible. You need to offer small pieces of reality. Say what you noticed. Name what you want. Let your face respond before you edit it. If someone tells a story, don't automatically give the safest response. Say, "That would have made me nervous," or "I would have handled that differently," not to create conflict, to create contact. Now, layer 4 is the uncomfortable one. Understand that invisibility can become a form of control. That sounds harsh. Stay with it. When you hide your preferences, nobody can reject them. When you avoid asking for anything, nobody can refuse you. When you remain unreadable, nobody gets enough information to criticize the real you. So invisibility protects you from humiliation, but it also protects you from intimacy. You cannot be deeply accepted, while offering only a carefully edited outline of yourself. You may be surrounded by people, but they are relating to a mask designed to prevent pain. This is not a character flaw. It's a survival strategy that outlived the situation that created it. Here's the practical move. Choose one safe person and make one low-risk request this week. Can you listen for a minute without trying to fix it? I'd like you to check in with me tomorrow. Could we spend time together without making plans around everyone else? Then watch what happens inside you. The important part is not whether they respond perfectly. The important part is noticing the alarm that appears when you allow yourself to need something. The tight chest, the urge to retract the request, the sudden thought that you are being difficult. That feeling is old information, not a command. Now for layer 5. Reclaim your internal commentary. People who feel invisible often spend so much time imagining how they appear that they lose access to what they are experiencing. You are not just in the room. You are watching yourself be in the room. How did that sound? Was that awkward? Did they seem bored? Should I have said something else? This is self-consciousness disguised as self-awareness. Real self-awareness brings you closer to your experience. Performance awareness pulls you away from it. So the next time you notice yourself monitoring the room, return to 3 questions. What am I feeling? What am I wanting? What am I avoiding saying? Don't answer with a socially acceptable word like fine. Be specific. Disappointed. Curious. Overwhelmed. Bored. Jealous. Excited. Left out. The goal is not to immediately act on every emotion. The goal is to stop abandoning your inner world. Before anyone else has the chance to notice it, just notice. That is where presence begins. Layer 6 goes deeper. Let yourself be ordinary. Many invisible people are secretly waiting to become impressive enough to deserve attention. They believe they will finally speak freely when they are more attractive, more successful, more knowledgeable, more interesting, so they keep their real life on hold, waiting for a version of themselves that feels impossible to dismiss. But the need to be exceptional can become another mask. You don't need a fascinating story every time you speak. You don't need a perfect insight. You don't need to earn the right to exist in a conversation. You can say, "My week was quiet." You can admit, "I don't know much about that." You can tell someone, "I was looking forward to seeing you." That last one may feel especially dangerous because ordinary honesty is often more exposing than dramatic vulnerability. Drama gives you a role. Simple truth gives people access. Here's the exercise. Once a day, share something before you've polished it. An unfinished thought, a genuine preference, a small hope, a real reaction. Not everything, just something. The point is to teach your nervous system that unedited does not automatically mean unsafe. And now, layer 7. This is the one that matters most. You have to stop waiting for permission to take up emotional space. Nobody is coming to officially announce that your opinion counts now. Nobody will hand you a certificate proving that your needs are reasonable. If you keep waiting to feel worthy before acting visible, you may wait forever. Worth is not a mood you achieve. It is a position you practice. When you finish your sentence. Instead of laughing it away, you practice it when you don't immediately apologize for asking a question. You practice it when you let silence exist after you speak. You practice it when someone misunderstands you, and you clarify instead of shrinking. This will feel uncomfortable, not because you are doing it wrong, but because your old identity was built around staying unchallenging. The first time, you become more visible. You may feel exposed rather than empowered. That's normal. Growth rarely feels like confidence at the beginning. It often feels like the absence of your usual escape route. You can't hide behind whatever. You can't disappear into being helpful. You can't make everyone comfortable and still remain fully present. That is the trade. Here's what ties all 7 layers together. You do not become visible by demanding that everyone look at you. Become visible by refusing to look away from yourself. You notice the performance. You question the rule. You offer real information. You risk a small need. You return to your experience. You release the demand to be impressive. Then you act as if your presence already belongs. Some people may respond differently. A few may prefer the quieter version of you. That matters. Because when you stop performing invisibility, you don't just discover who truly sees you. Discover who only valued your compliance. That can hurt. It can also free you. Most people will watch something like this, feel recognized for 10 minutes, and then return to the same automatic answers, the same swallowed opinions, the same habit of calling self-erasure peace. Don't do that. Choose one layer. Practice it today. Tell one person what you actually want. Name one feeling without minimizing it. Make one request without wrapping it in an apology. You are not invisible. You have been making yourself difficult to see, and that means the pattern is not a life sentence. It is a pattern. Patterns can be interrupted. If this helped you notice the difference between being accepted and being known, stay with this channel. The next video will show you how to stop performing, the version of yourself that other people find easiest to love. You don't need to become louder. You need to stop leaving yourself out of the room. That is how you become visible again.